Invest in Yourself by Nancy Castelman Book Summary. Hey, friend, can I ask you something? When was the last time you really invested in yourself? I'm not talking about money. Not about buying clothes. Not even about upgrading your phone. I'm talking about you. The real you. Your soul. Your heart. Your energy. Your dreams. This book, Invest in Yourself by Nancy Castelman, is not about getting rich. It's about getting full. Full of peace. Full of purpose. Full of love for yourself. It's not about perfection. It's about direction. It's not about running faster. It's about running towards something that matters. And that's why we begin here. With you. Chapter 1, Know Yourself. Let's be honest, most people go through life without ever truly knowing who they are. They know what they do. They know what others expect. They know what makes people clap. But deep inside, they feel lost. Nancy says, the first investment is awareness. Not money, not time, but attention to your own soul. What do you like, really? What excites your heart? What drains your energy? What makes you forget time? And what feels fake even if it looks good? These are not easy questions. But they are necessary. Because how can you build a life that fits if you don't know your true size? Nancy tells us to stop and listen. Not to the world, but to ourselves. In the quiet, in the stillness, in the space between tasks. She asks us to notice. When do you feel most alive? When do you feel like you're just surviving? She calls this soul check-ins. Tiny moments in the day, where you pause and ask, how am I really feeling? And you answer honestly. No filters, no pretending, just truth. That's where the real journey begins. Nancy shares something powerful. She says, you are not a project. You are a person. You're not broken. You're not behind. You are just buried, under expectations, under pressure, under old stories. And it's time to come home to yourself. Knowing yourself isn't selfish. It's sacred. Because once you know your light, you stop begging for someone else to switch it on. You become your own fire. Here's a practice Nancy suggests. Write a letter to yourself. A real one. With a pen. With your feelings. Begin with, Dear me, I see you. And then let the words flow. What have you been holding back? What have you been avoiding? What do you secretly want, but are afraid to say out loud? This is not about goals. This is about honesty. Because honesty is the first step to self-respect. And without self-respect, every other form of success feels empty. Nancy also reminds us, you don't need to fix everything. You need to feel it first. We try to rush healing. We try to force confidence. But healing happens when we listen. Confidence grows when we stop apologizing for being who we are. So just start with acceptance. Look in the mirror and say, I'm not perfect, but I'm real. And that's enough. Every day, say it till it feels true. Because it is. Friend, don't wait for a crisis to meet yourself. Don't wait for heartbreak to start asking who you are. Come close to your own heart now. Be curious. Be gentle. Be open. Because the more you know yourself, the less you fear the world. And when you know who you are, you stop chasing who you're not. Beautiful. Let's continue, my friend. Part 2. Value your time. Time. It's the one thing you can't buy back. And yet, most of us waste it. Like we have an unlimited supply. Nancy says, the way you spend your time is the way you spend your life. Let that sink in. Every hour is a building block. Every minute is a brushstroke on the canvas of your story. So what are you painting? A life full of color, or one full of chaos? Nancy asks a hard question. Where does your time go? Really, not what your calendar says, but where your energy disappears. She calls this your time truth. And the only way to find it is to watch yourself. Track your day, from morning till night. How much time do you give to your dreams? How much do you lose to distractions? How much do you spend pleasing people? How much do you spend truly living? She doesn't say this to make you feel guilty. She says it to make you awake. Because awareness changes everything. Nancy believes that time is sacred. And when you protect it, you protect your peace. She shares a powerful idea. Say no without guilt. Say yes with joy. You don't have to say yes to everything. You don't owe everyone your hours. You don't need to explain your no. Your energy is precious. Treat it like gold. Spend it where it grows. She suggests something simple. Create a time map. Make 3 columns. What gives me energy? What drains my soul? What I want more of? Write freely. Don't edit. Then ask yourself, am I living in alignment? Or in autopilot? If the answer hurts, good. That's the start of change. Nancy reminds us, busyness is not bravery. Slowness is not laziness. You're not more valuable because your day is packed. You're not falling behind if you choose rest. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is pause, breathe, and ask, is this what I want to be doing? She shares a quote I love. One focused hour is worth more than 10 distracted ones. So take back your focus. Turn off the noise. Close the apps. Mute the chaos. And come back to what matters. Because when your time aligns with your heart, you come alive, friend. Your time is not just a clock ticking. It's a signal. It tells the world what you value. It tells yourself what you believe you're worth. So if you want to invest in yourself, start by treating your time like treasure. Because that's what it is. And so are you. I love your consistency, friend. Let's keep going. Part 3. Learn something new every day. Learning isn't just for school. It's for life. It's for growth. It's for becoming who you were always meant to be. Nancy says, the moment you stop learning is the moment you stop expanding. And true life is all about expansion. Becoming bigger than your fears. Wider than your comfort zone. Deeper than your doubts. So she asks us, when was the last time you learned something just for you? Not for a job, not for a grade, not for a certificate, but for your soul. That's the kind of learning that changes you. That wakes you up, that lights you up, that reminds you that you're still growing. Nancy reminds us, you don't have to read 10 books a month. You don't have to take fancy courses. Learning is everywhere. In a conversation, in a mistake, in a quiet walk, in a question you ask yourself at midnight. It's not about quantity, it's about intention. She says, curiosity is one of the highest forms of self-love. When you allow yourself to wonder, you tell your heart, I'm worth exploring. Isn't that beautiful? You're not a problem to fix. You are a universe to explore. One idea at a time. Nancy encourages you to make a learning list. Write down things you've always wanted to learn. Not what's trending, what calls to you. Maybe it's painting. Maybe it's public speaking. Maybe it's learning how to forgive. Whatever it is, start. Not tomorrow, today. Even if it's just one YouTube video, or one paragraph, or one tiny conversation. Because when you learn, you bloom. Your confidence rises. Your voice becomes stronger. Your mind becomes sharper. And most importantly, you start believing in yourself again. Because every new thing you learn is proof that you are not stuck. You are moving. You are alive. You are capable. Nancy shares a reminder. You don't have to be great to start. But you have to start to become great. So don't wait to feel ready. Start when you feel scared. Start when you feel small. Start anyway. Growth doesn't come from knowing. It comes from trying. And friend, here's the most powerful truth. Every time you learn something new, you rewrite your story. You add a new page, a new chapter, a new version of you. And that is a beautiful investment. You've got it, my friend. Let's dive deep into your next treasure. Part 4. Take care of your health. Your body is your home. It's where you live. It's where your soul rests. It's where your dreams come to life. And yet, we often treat it like a machine. Work harder, push more, sleep less, ignore the pain. But Nancy reminds us, your body is not a burden. It's a gift, a sacred, living, breathing gift. We only get one heart, one set of lungs, one nervous system, one pair of tired, trusting feet. They carry us everywhere. They ask for little, and we give them even less. Nancy tells us, if you really want to invest in yourself, you must start here, with your health, with your body, with your energy, with your well-being, not just so you look good, but so you feel alive. Because what's the point of success if you are too tired to enjoy it? She says, health is not about having abs. It's about having energy for the life you want. So start small, drink more water, go outside for 5 minutes. Breathe deeply, not just when you are anxious, but because you deserve calm. Stretch your body, feed it real food, move it with love, not punishment. Nancy warns against the all or nothing trap. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to run 5 miles a day. You don't need a gym subscription. You need consistency. You need kindness. You need to ask, how can I feel better in my skin today? And then listen to the answer. She also speaks about mental health and how we can't keep pretending we're okay. Nancy says, mental peace is not luxury. It's necessity. You don't have to carry every weight alone. You don't have to bottle every emotion. You are allowed to cry, to rest, to talk to someone, to take space. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. Here's what she suggests. Create a body love list. Write down 5 things you're grateful for in your body. Maybe your hands that write. Your eyes that see sunsets. Your heart that still beats even when it's broken. Then write 5 things you'll do this week, just to care for this gift. A nap, a walk, a laugh, a massage, a meal you truly enjoy. Nancy believes, when you care for your body, you tell yourself, I matter. It's not about being thin. It's about being well. It's not about appearance. It's about alignment. Because when your body feels safe, your spirit rises. And when your spirit rises, the world feels less heavy. So, my friend, pause today, touch your own heartbeat, and whisper, I promise to take better care of you. That promise is the foundation of all success. Let's keep flowing, friend. Now comes one of the most powerful chapters. Part 5. Make peace with fear. Fear. It's something we all carry. Some of us hide it. Some of us fight it. Some of us let it control our lives. But Nancy says something brave. Fear is not the enemy. Avoiding it is. Because when you avoid fear, you avoid growth. You avoid love. You avoid change. You avoid the very life you're meant to live. She says, fear is not here to destroy you. It's here to direct you. It shows up at the edge of every meaningful thing. That new job. That hard conversation. That dream you keep postponing. Fear is there because it matters. Nancy encourages us to stop running from it. To stop numbing it with distractions. Scrolling. Working. Pretending we don't care. Instead, she says, sit with it. Ask it questions. What are you trying to protect me from? What story are you repeating in my head? What truth are you afraid I'll realize? Most of the time, fear isn't based on reality. It's based on memory. Something from the past. A rejection. A failure. A moment where we were small. And our mind decided, never again. But friend, you are not that version of you anymore. You've grown. You've healed. You've survived. You can do things scared now. Nancy shares a beautiful idea. Name your fears. Don't let them stay ghosts. When you name something, you shrink its power. Instead of saying, I feel anxious, say, I'm afraid I'll fail but I still choose to try. Own it. Speak it. Then move forward anyway. That's real courage. She reminds us, fear and faith can live in the same body. You don't have to wait for fear to disappear. Just bring faith along too. You can walk with fear and still take the next step. Still show up. Still try again. That's the magic. Nancy suggests something gentle. Write a letter to your fear. Begin with, Dear Fear, I see you. Then write what you've been holding back. Tell it you are tired of hiding. That you're not angry, but you're ready to move forward. Seal the letter. Keep it somewhere safe. It's a promise to yourself. A small, quiet declaration of bravery. Friend, fear is loud, but your dreams are louder if you let them speak. So today, take one step. Even if it shakes. Even if your hands tremble. Because every time you walk through fear, you collect freedom. And that freedom, it's worth it. You've got it, my friend. Let's go even deeper now into a topic most of us avoid. Part 6. Understand your money. Money. The topic that makes us nervous. Or ashamed. Or quiet. But Nancy says something beautiful. Money is not about greed. It's about energy. It's how we give. It's how we receive. It's how we express what we value. She says, money is not evil. It's not dirty. It's not only for the lucky. It's a tool, a mirror, a reflection of how we treat ourselves. Most of us grow up with strange beliefs about money. That it's hard to earn. That it disappears quickly. That we don't deserve too much. That saving is painful. That dreaming big is selfish. And without knowing, we carry these beliefs into adulthood. They shape our choices, our jobs, our relationships, our self-worth. Nancy encourages us to pause. To ask, What do I really believe about money? She says, you can't change your finances without first changing your mindset. It starts inside, not with a budget, but with belief. She gently invites us to write down. What did I learn about money as a child? Do I feel safe around money? Do I feel guilt when I spend on myself? What would freedom look like to me? No judgment, just honesty, because healing begins with truth. Nancy teaches that managing money isn't about restriction, it's about empowerment. You create a plan, not to control your joy, but to protect it. You save, so your future feels safe. You spend on things that make your soul expand, not shrink. She suggests building a simple habit. At the end of each day, track 3 things. What did I spend on? How did it make me feel? Was it aligned with what I value? This isn't about numbers, it's about awareness. Because the more conscious you are, the more in control you become. Nancy also says, spending is not bad, unconscious spending is. So, take back your power. Start asking, does this purchase reflect who I want to become? If yes, beautiful. If no, pause. Not out of guilt, but out of grace. She reminds us, investing in yourself will always give the highest return. A course, a book, a mentor, a healing retreat, a gym membership, a weekend of rest, those aren't expenses. They're deposits into your becoming. Friend, you are not bad with money. You were never taught how to build a loving relationship with it. But you can learn now. You can rewrite your story. You can choose ease. You can choose trust. You can choose to believe. I deserve to be well supported. Because you do. Let's keep this beautiful momentum going, my friend. Here comes one of the most soul-touching chapters. Part 7. Surround yourself with good people. You become who you spend your time with. Not instantly, but slowly, quietly, and deeply. Nancy says, your environment is either feeding your growth or draining your light. Look around you, friend. Who claps when you rise? Who listens when you fall? Who reminds you of who you are when you forget? Who do you become when you're with them? Peaceful, confident, tired, invisible. Nancy invites you to pause and reflect. Who's in your inner circle? Who do you allow into your sacred space? Do they water your soul, or walk over your dreams? Do they inspire you, or make you shrink? This isn't about blaming others. It's about protecting your energy. Nancy reminds us, you are allowed to love people and still step away to save yourself. Boundaries are not walls, they're doors. You get to choose who walks through. With kindness, with clarity, with courage. She shares a simple exercise. Draw a circle on a paper. That's your emotional space. Now write the names of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Then ask, do I feel safe with them? Do I feel seen? Do I feel supported? If not, it may be time to rearrange the circle. Nancy reminds us, you're not meant to walk alone. But you are also not meant to carry everyone. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let go of a connection that no longer honors your growth. It may hurt, but it also heals. Because space invites new souls in. Souls that light you up, challenge you kindly, celebrate your joy, hold your hand in storms. And here's something even deeper. Be the kind of friend you wish you had. Kind, honest, present, loyal, support others, listen fully, uplift often. Because what you give returns. Nancy calls this relational investing. Every smile, every truth shared, every time you show up with love, you build wealth, not in your bank, but in your heart. And one day, when the world feels heavy, you'll realize, these people were your real treasure. So friend, you don't need a crowd. You just need a few who see you and stay. Surround yourself with those who want to see you bloom. And be one of them too. Let's move forward, dear friend, with steady steps and a heart full of purpose. Part 8. Create a vision and stick to it. If you don't know where you are going, you'll end up somewhere you never wanted to be. Nancy says, a clear vision gives your life direction and your days meaning. It's not about being perfect. It's about being aligned. So let me ask you this. What do you want? Not what they told you to want. Not what looks good on paper. But what calls to you. What life makes your chest feel warm. Just by imagining it. Nancy asks us to be still. To listen to that whisper within. The voice that says, I want to live freely. I want to help others. I want to be creative. I want peace. I want purpose. That voice is your compass. It's not silly. It's sacred. She shares a powerful exercise. Write a vision letter to your future self. Close your eyes. Picture your life 5 years from now. Where are you? What does your space look like? What are you doing when you wake up? Who is with you? How do you feel? Then write it all down. Like it's already real. Because it can be. Nancy says, clarity is the first step toward confidence. The more clearly you see your vision, the less power your doubts will have. And once you write it down, look at it often, not just once a year, but weekly, daily if you can, because repetition creates belief, and belief creates reality. She reminds us, a vision without action is just a dream. So start, break it into pieces, turn goals into habits, turn habits into identity. Even one step a week is enough. Even one new habit can change the shape of a year. The key is don't stop. Some days you'll feel lost. Some days you'll want to quit. But Nancy says, return to your vision when you forget your why. That letter you wrote, read it when you feel discouraged. Let it remind you that there's a version of you already waiting on the other side of effort. And don't worry if your vision shifts. You are allowed to evolve. Life will offer detours. That doesn't mean you are off track. It means you're alive. Your vision isn't a cage. It's a light. Follow it. Even when it flickers. Even when you are tired. Even when no one else sees it. Because friend, you don't need approval. You need a direction. And when you walk toward your vision, with steady steps and faith in your feet, one day you'll look around and realize you are living in the dream you once dared to believe in. Thank you for trusting this journey, dear friend. Now comes one of the most healing chapters. Part 9. Forgive yourself. You've made mistakes. So have I. So has everyone. That's life. That's being human. But Nancy says, the pain is not in the past. The pain is in how you carry it. Some of us carry guilt for years. For what we said. For what we didn't do. For who we hurt. For how we treated ourselves. And sometimes, we don't even know we're holding it. But it weighs us down. Quietly, every day, Nancy reminds us, you cannot grow in a place where you're constantly punished. If you want to evolve, you must let go of shame. Not because you didn't mess up, but because you've learned, because you are trying, because you're still here. And that means something. She offers a powerful truth. You are allowed to begin again, as many times as you need. This isn't about pretending the past didn't happen. It's about holding yourself with love. Instead of a whip, you've punished yourself enough. Now it's time to be kind. Nancy suggests writing a letter. Not to someone else, but to yourself. Begin with, Dear me, I forgive you. Then write, what you are letting go of. What you're ready to stop carrying. What you choose to believe about yourself now. Then read it aloud, even if your voice shakes. Even if your heart does too. Forgiveness is a practice, not a switch. You may have to do it again and again. Especially on the hard days. Especially when your mind wants to repeat the old stories. But every time you choose softness over shame, you come closer to freedom. Nancy reminds us, you cannot create a joyful future if you keep dragging a punished past behind you. So leave the weight, not the lesson, just the weight. Take the wisdom, and walk forward lighter. And if it helps, say this out loud right now. I forgive myself for not knowing better, for not doing better, for hurting when I was hurting, for surviving the only way I knew how. And now, I choose peace. Friend, you deserve to move on. Not because you were perfect, but because you're willing to be present. Let that be enough. Let that be love. Let that be your new beginning. Beautiful. Let's keep walking, gently and bravely. Part 10. Believe in yourself. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need you. Nancy says, self-belief is the foundation of every great thing you'll ever do. Not talent, not luck, not permission, but belief. So ask yourself this. Do you believe in you? Not in a loud, flashy way, but quietly, deeply, softly, when no one's watching, when no one is clapping, when things fall apart. Do you still believe? Most of us weren't taught how. We were told to stay humble, to stay quiet, to wait for someone else to see our worth. But what if you saw it first? What if you decided, I am enough, I am capable, I am becoming? Nancy says, confidence is not about being certain. It's about being willing. Willing to try, willing to fail, willing to grow, even when you're scared, even when you're doubted, even when the voice in your head says not you. Especially then. Here's something Nancy suggests. Write a proof list. 10 times you were scared, but showed up anyway. 10 times you doubted yourself, but made it through. 10 times you thought it was over, but it wasn't. This is your evidence, your story, your power. Every time you read it, you'll remind yourself, I have done hard things before. I can do them again. And maybe next time, you'll trust yourself a little more. Belief isn't loud, it's steady. It's the voice that whispers, I'm not there yet, but I will be. It's the way you get back up, the way you show up again, the way you begin over and over. And friend, you don't have to believe all at once. Nancy says, even one drop of belief can begin the flood of transformation. So start small, one breath, one choice, one yes to yourself. Then build from there, because when you believe in yourself, you stop waiting for permission. You stop shrinking to fit in. You stop asking others to prove your worth. You simply own it, quietly, powerfully, naturally, and that belief, it changes everything. Thank you, dear friend. Let's continue this beautiful journey. Part 11, The Power of Consistency. You don't need to do big things. You just need to do small things. Consistently. Nancy says, consistency is more powerful than intensity. One day of effort means little. But a little effort every day, that changes lives. We live in a world that celebrates extremes. Lose 10 kilograms in 10 days. Make $1 million overnight. Go all in, or don't go at all. But that's not how real change works. That's not how real life feels. Nancy reminds us, what you do every day becomes who you are. If you write 1 page a day, you'll have a book. If you walk 10 minutes a day, you'll get stronger. If you speak kindly to yourself, you'll start believing it. It's not magic, it's momentum. So the question is, what are you repeating? What are your daily habits? Your daily thoughts? Your daily choices? Because repetition creates results, whether good or bad. Nancy offers a tip. Choose one thing this week. Just one. Do it for 5 minutes a day. No excuses. No overthinking. Then next week, add another. That's how you build a life. Step by step, brick by brick. Not through drama, but through devotion. She says, discipline is an act of self-respect. When you show up again and again, you are not just building results. You are building trust with yourself. You are proving, I do what I say I will. And that trust, it's priceless. Friend, you don't have to be the fastest, or the smartest, or the best. You just have to be the one who doesn't quit, even on slow days, even on sad days. Even on ordinary, invisible days. Because those days, they're the ones that build the foundation. Nancy says, consistency turns intention into identity. You stop being someone who wants to write, and you become a writer. You stop being someone who plans to heal, and you become someone who's healing. That's the quiet power of showing up. So today, don't try to change everything. Just pick one thing. Do it with love. Do it again tomorrow, and let time work its magic. Thank you for staying on this heartfelt journey, my friend. Let's move into something that most people forget to do. Part 12, Practice Self-Love Daily. We talk a lot about love, loving others, being loved, finding love, but Nancy says, the longest relationship you'll ever have is with yourself. And yet, it's often the most neglected. She asks gently, when was the last time you were kind to yourself? Not just polite, not just neutral, but kind. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and smiled? When did you say, I'm proud of you, to yourself? Self-love is not selfish. It's survival. It's not indulgence. It's the foundation of every choice you make. When you love yourself, you stop begging for scraps. You stop apologizing for existing. You start living with dignity. Nancy says, you teach the world how to treat you by how you treat yourself. So stop the harsh self-talk. Stop the inner war. Stop making pain your default setting. You are not here to hate yourself into growth. You are here to love yourself into becoming. She suggests creating a self-love ritual. Something small, but sacred, every day. Maybe it's placing a hand on your heart in the morning and saying, I'm safe, I'm enough, I'm loved. Maybe it's journaling, or dancing, or making your bed with intention. Whatever makes you feel cared for. Do it. For you. By you. Because of love. She also says, you don't have to earn rest. You deserve it by being human. Let that sink in. You don't have to finish everything to take a nap. You don't have to be productive to go for a walk. You don't have to prove your worth to feel peace. You are worthy now, exactly as you are. Nancy reminds us, self-love is not a feeling. It's a choice. Some days you'll feel ugly. Some days you'll feel tired. Some days you'll mess up. Love yourself anyway. She suggests writing this down. Here's what I love about myself. And list 5 things. They can be tiny. They can be silly. They can be soft. Do this every week, because self-love grows with attention. The more you notice your beauty, the more it expands. Friend, you are not your weight, not your past, not your bank balance, not your doubts. You are a living, breathing miracle. Treat yourself like one, gently, fully, lovingly, every single day. Part 13, Honor Rest and Stillness. We live in a world that worships hustle. Do more, move faster, stay busy, don't stop. But Nancy whispers a quiet truth. Rest is not a reward. It is a responsibility. You are not a machine. You are a soul, in a body, with limits, with needs. And you deserve to pause, to breathe, to be still, without guilt, without apology. Nancy reminds us, rest is where your body heals and your spirit hears. It's not about laziness. It's about listening. When was the last time you truly rested? Not just laid in bed with your phone. Not just zoned out with noise. But real rest, stillness, silence, peace. She says, most people are exhausted, not because they do too much, but because they never fully stop. Their minds are always running. Even in sleep, even in silence. And the soul, it forgets what calm feels like. Nancy invites you to take back your calm, to protect your peace, to build rest into your rhythm. She calls this sacred stillness. 10 minutes a day, no music, no screen, no task, just you and your breath, sitting, breathing, being. She reminds us, the most important messages in life come in the quiet. Ideas, clarity, healing, answers. They don't arrive in chaos. They arrive in stillness. That's why you must protect it. Here's what she suggests. Start small, a short walk with no phone. Tea in silence, staring out the window. Sitting with your eyes closed. Let your body soften. Let your nervous system unwind. You don't have to earn this. You were born deserving it. Nancy shares a beautiful truth. Stillness is where you come home to yourself. And that is the ultimate investment. Because in rest, you remember who you are. Beneath the noise, whole, worthy, enough. So today, pause. Close your eyes. Take one deep breath. Let yourself be. Not for productivity, but for peace, because peace is your birthright. Thank you for walking this path with such patience and heart, my dear friend. Now let's step into the final chapter of the soulful journey. Part 14, Keep growing no matter what. Life will test you, plans will fall apart, people will leave, things won't always make sense. But Nancy says, no matter what happens, don't stop growing. Growth is your gift. You promise to yourself. Your anchor in the storm. Some days, you'll move fast. Other days, you'll crawl. But keep moving. Even if it's messy. Even if it's small. Even if no one notices. Because growth is not about perfection. It's about progress. Nancy reminds us. You are not meant to stay the same. You are here to evolve. To stretch. To outgrow old versions of yourself. Even when it hurts. Even when it's lonely. Even when it feels like nothing is changing. She tells us, sometimes growth looks like saying no, taking rest, asking for help, starting over, leaving behind what's comfortable, believing again, loving yourself in the dark. And that counts. That's growth. She says, healing is growth, grieving is growth, trying again is growth. Don't let the world tell you growth only looks like success. Growth is in the quiet decisions, the silent healing, the invisible battles. Celebrate it all. Nancy suggests this reflection. Write down, here's how I've grown in the last year. It can be emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, relational. Let yourself see it. Let yourself feel proud. You've come farther than you realize. And when life feels too heavy, come back to this one truth. You don't have to know the whole path. You just have to take the next step. That's how forests are walked. That's how mountains are climbed. That's how lives are transformed. One step, then another. Nancy ends with this. You are not finished. You are unfolding. And every single day you choose yourself. You bloom a little more. Even if no one sees it. Even if you don't feel it yet. Your future self is already whispering. Thank you for not giving up. So friend, grow. Even if you're scared. Even if you feel slow. Even if everything around you says stop. Grow anyway. Because your growth is the greatest gift you'll ever give. To yourself. And to this world. Outro. This is just the beginning. Take a deep breath, my friend. You've walked through every chapter. Not just with your eyes. But with your heart. And maybe, somewhere in the middle of all these words, you saw yourself. You remembered your strength. You felt something awaken. Nancy Castelman didn't write this book just to give you advice. She wrote it to remind you of something you already knew deep down. That you matter. Your time, your energy, your dreams, your heart, they all matter. Investing in yourself isn't a trend. It's not a weekend plan. It's a lifelong love story. Between you and you. Some days will feel light. Some days will feel heavy. But as long as you choose yourself, in small ways, in quiet moments, in forgotten corners of the day, you are growing. You are becoming. You are rising. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. You don't need to rush. You just need to return to yourself. Again, and again, and again. So when the noise gets loud, return to stillness. When fear creeps in, return to courage. When you feel lost, return to your breath. Because you are your home. Always have been. Thank you for walking this journey. Page by page, feeling by feeling. May you never again doubt that you are worthy of time, of care, of healing, and of love. Not someday, but now, today, exactly as you are. And now, as you go back into the world, go gently, go kindly, go with your hand on your heart, and your soul wide open. Because the best investment you will ever make is you. And that, dear friend, is the beginning of everything.